Hey everyone, we're back with another budget recap. I'm gonna talk about how October went. It was kind of a crazy month. We did go over budget in a good amount of areas. We're gonna talk about that a little bit and go through what that looks like. But if you're new here, my name is Jessie. I do all kinds of motherhood content and vlogs, but I also share with you our budget. We live on one income as a family of 4. I am trying to grow my social media to bring in some additional income, but currently we live entirely on my husband's income. I also might be starting some more freelance work again, which would help bring in a little bit more money, but we'll see. What I'm gonna take you through is just like our realistic budget. We tend to go over budget. I'm not like a super strict with it, and we probably should be. Some months we do better than others. Like last month in September, we did really well. I can link that. But then the month prior, we didn't do great. I feel like this month went pretty well, but not as well as it should have. So I'm gonna take you through that. I show you my real numbers. We'll see how long I do that for. But for now, I still show you my real numbers and what we get up to. A couple of goals, or just again, if you're new here, we do have some debt. It's all student loan debt currently at this time. We live in a high cost of living area. We live in like the Schaumburg area, which is a suburb of Chicago. And it's just like higher cost. Our rent is pretty high. Our expenses and stuff are pretty high. Restaurants are pretty high, things like that. So groceries, just high cost of living. It's like high cost of living for everyone, right? But we do live in a higher cost of living area to be closer to family. But we are looking into options to move to a different area that fits budgetarily a little bit more what we're looking for, or you know, just like lifestyle, what we're looking for. We don't really love the Chicago suburbs besides family, obviously. So that's kind of it for us. We are currently renting. We have never purchased a home. Buying a home is something we would love to do, but we're only gonna do it if it's the right decision. Buying versus renting, we're kind of, you know, like rental markets are so high right now. So it just feels crazy to be paying like almost $3 grand for a house that we don't even own and we get nothing from. We can't update it, we can't do anything to it. That's kind of been the hardest part for us, but then also just realizing, sorry, the light's gonna go in and out because I'm in front of a window, but governmental stuff, world stuff, big stuff happening in the world right now, and I'm grateful for what we do have, and we just have to move forward with what we can afford and what we can do. And that might mean making some lifestyle adjustments, making some living adjustments, making some working adjustments, things like that. But anyways, that's my little 3-minute spiel that I just did. But let's move on to the budget and actually look through what we spent in October. Before I start this, at the beginning of the month, we're in Western Wisconsin. So I have a lot of money for travel that we don't normally do. In fact, we haven't traveled besides moving across the country in like 3 years, maybe since before Ivy was born. So travel just isn't something that we do because it's just not something we can budget for right now. It will be important to us soon, but right now it just hasn't been. So that's a budget item that isn't normally there, and we definitely spent a little bit more there since we don't do it very often. And then I feel like we were pretty good throughout the month, and then at the end of the month we had like a couple of big things come up that, yes, I couldn't have budgeted for because I didn't know it was there. But could we have done things differently? Sure, but we didn't. So I'll show you what it is. Let's start with the budget. I'll like zoom in on different areas, but this is like my overall dashboard kind of. This top area shows you like different breakdowns. So like budgeted versus actual for income and savings and debt and bills, and then over here is also like different expenses in a different type of layout. And then this shows you just like the basic whatever. So at the end of the month, or this was at the beginning of the month, I didn't budget that, so that doesn't make sense. It's not important right now. We had about $469 at the end of the month, which sounds great, and it is great. I'm glad that we weren't negative, but this is money that I will just move over. I try to keep around $500 in our account because at the beginning of the month we're really short because basically our rent like knocks out pretty much most of my husband's checks. Instead of having to move money back and forth from savings, I try to keep about $500 in the account so that it'll kind of even out. We also put a lot of stuff on credit card that we always pay off once or twice a month, but a lot of times at the beginning of the month we put most stuff on credit that we can besides bills. So that means we spent, you know, about $30 of the $500 over budget, if that makes sense, but not that big of a deal. So total spent this month was $8,286.88. So let's look and see what we did. Our known income was correct, and then our unknown income was a little bit over, and we can go through that. I actually got a paid brand sponsorship, which was exciting, so that's why that is a little bit higher this month. And if we go through, we'll go to variable expenses last, but we didn't have any non-monthly bills, so that's like bills that come out like 3 times a year, like our renter's insurance or something like that. And then monthly bills, those all came out, nothing was really off. So it was all exactly what it was supposed to be. The only one that's like not exact is this one, because it's just like a bunch of apps. So I don't have the exact amount because it's kind of changes every month. And then as far as debt goes, we paid the minimums on our 3 student loans that we have, which is about just under $500 that we pay. So then if we go over here to variable expenses, which is where we definitely spend the most money, and we'll go down and look at like some of the actual things that we spent. I budgeted $1,500 for groceries. We spent about $60 over that. If you're new here and you're like, how in the heck are you using a $1,500 budget for food? First of all, I'm going to say easily, because food is expensive, but second of all, we prioritize quality of food. That's just something that's important to us. Both my husband and I have health issues. We have for a really long time, to us buying organic, grass-fed meat, organic vegetables, like higher quality gluten-free type food, because I don't eat gluten, Ben doesn't eat dairy, so sometimes we're also buying stuff that's like gluten-free or dairy-free, which can be more expensive. We don't eat perfectly by any means. We eat a lot of packaged food, more than we should, and we we're not like super crazy about that stuff, but we do tend to spend more money because we buy more expensive food. So that's just like what we choose to do with our money and our budget. I know there's plenty of people out there that spend like $500 a month for a family of 4, and I will never understand how they're able to do that, but that's just not our journey. And I don't judge them, just like they shouldn't judge me. So moving on to eating out, we were $109 over budget. That actually literally happened on the 31st. So we were just on budget there. And then on the 31st, we went out to dinner with my sister and dad, who came to visit, which was kind of a last minute decision. They decided to come like 2 weeks ago, so I had already done our budget and everything. And we went out to eat, all of us, like 6 of us, to a restaurant near us, and we decided to pay for everybody's food because they drove all the way down here, which is like a 4-hour drive. They bought a hotel to stay in because we don't have room in our house for people to stay comfortably, and then they drove home the next day. So we just felt like they were spending enough money. They don't visit very often. We wanted to treat them to food, so that was just like $100. That is pretty expensive, but I don't know, we wanted to buy food for them, and that's just what we decided to do. So that's why that one is so over budget. So I'm really not mad about it because it was totally unexpected, and we had the money in the account, but technically over budget. We were $104 over budget on medication and supplements. I'm not even really sure why. I think I had to get like a bunch of supplements this month because my naturopath started me on like a new regimen. I suck at taking supplements though, so I need to like really focus on taking them, so I'm not purchasing supplements and then I don't take them, So this is just a good reminder that I need to be like focused on that, because I have not taken them today yet. Another thing, because of our health, we tend to spend a little bit more money on this category. That is something actually, next year Ben's insurance is changing again, so we're probably gonna have to budget more for medical type stuff because less of our stuff is gonna be covered. So we might start looking into doing sinking funds. I haven't done sinking funds in years, so if you have any tips or people that do them really well, leave it down below in the comments for me so I can get used to that, because I think having a medical sinking fund, maybe like a house home sinking fund, and there was something else, maybe like clothing. Eventually we'll want to have one for travel, so maybe it's just like I don't know, just let me know what you guys think down below. We haven't figured that out yet. Speaking of that, household supplies, we were $124 over budget. We'll look at that down below. And then we were $181 over budget on personal spending, and that's because we ended up going to Old Navy and buying a bunch of clothes for both Ben, me, and Ivy, all three of us, for the winter. We were under budget on medical, so that's like our doctor appointments. I budgeted $300 because I knew I had a $250 doctor appointment, and that's all that came out this month. So we were technically under budget. Under budget on utilities, which is great. Car, we were under budget. And then Cora and Finn, we were under budget. We must not have bought their food twice or something like that. Miscellaneous, we were over budget. There were just like a couple random things that we purchased that I'll show you in a minute. Under budget on birthdays and holidays. Over budget on travel. So I'll show you some of the stuff down here because I feel like some of it could be in different categories that were under budget, you know. As far as savings, I wanted to put away that much this month, and I'm not putting anything away because I want to keep it in the account. So that sucks, is that I'm not putting anything away from savings this month. And I always do it at the end of the month because that's what works for us. When we get to a point where we have more money coming in and we don't have to worry about like being so like tight, I will start putting savings away at the beginning of the month, but that's just not where we are right now. So a couple of things. Personal spending, we got some books. I don't even know where that was, if that was on our trip. That should be under travel if it was on our trip. Let's see, Cora had to go to the vet. TikTok shop, I bought some glasses. Like, I've done a video over here about them too. They're like these really nice glassware, like 2 glasses that I can use for like iced coffee and stuff like that. So I bought that. I have on here glasses from TikTok shop. We'll make a video. I did make a couple videos, but nobody's purchased from it. So anyways, I just have that in there for myself. Eating out, miscellaneous. Okay, so one of the miscellaneous is I gave some, just a little bit, because that's, I don't know, what I wanted to give to someone who lost their husband while she was pregnant, and that's just like terrible. So I got cheese grater and Poppy's costume for Halloween, so technically that could be, it was only like $9 though, but that could have been in like holidays instead of household. Travel, this one should also be travel. Shorts for Ivy because she was out at Old Navy. I'm gonna put that one more as like personal spending. Viroqua Co-op for lunch, travel, Woolly Bear gift spot, spending in Viroqua, that was also travel technically. Travel, lemonade at Maker's Mart, this should also be travel. Apparently I didn't do this very well. Groceries, farmer's market. A lot of these things are like out of order too because I like pay my credit card, so that I'm kind of backfilling this, just if that makes sense. If none of this, if something doesn't make sense, leave a comment and I can go deeper into this kind of stuff, but I'm kind of just doing this with you. Old Navy for the family, and then there's a couple more travel things that popped up because I paid off my credit card around this time. So like different places we ate while we were traveling across Wisconsin. Personal spending, no, I'm gonna put this all in travel because technically we were traveling. Eating out, okay, espresso, eating out. I still don't know what was off by $35. I can't figure it out. Oh wait, yeah, Old Navy for me and Ivy. Let's see, Old Navy return. Here's my income that I got from a brand partnership, which was super exciting. Groceries, TikTok shop light, farmer's market, Skelly's, was a farm that we went to with some family. More groceries, Simply Urban, debt stuff. Ben also bought a couple things that I wasn't anticipating that went into personal spending. He got some discs and a disc bag. He plays disc golf, so he was really wanting to do that. And then he also bought me an apron, which I didn't budget for because he bought for me as a gift, which I guess I could put as just like, I should just change that one to say gifts instead of birthdays and holidays. Personal spending, let's see, travel, Bessie's in Janesville, okay. Discover Cashback, Whole Foods, Subaru, Veracity. This was an annoying thing. Like I had something that I could have sworn that I canceled the subscription, but they say I didn't and they won't refund me. So that was annoying, because it was like $65 and they literally won't refund me. So that's annoying. I did get a haircut like last minute, so I didn't budget for that, which is a part of that. Travel, household supplies, eating out. Yeah, and then this was that last piece. So if we go back up now, this is probably now when I should have done the variable expenses. So, but okay, so we were $22 over on groceries, $47 over on eating out. So that's not as bad because I changed some of the stuff down here, but you'll be able to see that. Meds and supplements is the same. This is a little bit different, still over budget. This is a little bit different, but still over budget. These are the same, Core and Fin's the same. So it's really this, like the travel one that I did not budget enough for, but we went fairly over budget between traveling in Eau Claire, La Crosse, Viroqua, and then also going to Skelly's farm was something that kind of came up, not last minute, but it came up later. We ended up getting like dinner out, which was like lunch out or something that was a little bit over our budget, but I feel like I was kind of just doing my budget with you this time, so hopefully that was still interesting and however I edit it. That is what we ended up spending in October. You know, wasn't our best month, wasn't our worst month. Looking forward to November and trying to, you know, stay on budget as much as possible. We're also looking into a couple different like housing options. So as soon as I have more information about that stuff, I will let you guys know. But right now, everything's so up in the air that it's just like not worth talking to people about, because I feel like for like months I was like, we're moving to Raleigh, we're not moving to Raleigh, we're buying in Raleigh, we're not, we're renting in Raleigh, we're not. And it's just, it's so annoying to me, so I'm sure it's annoying to people watching me. So yeah, I don't really know what we're doing. We're looking into a couple different options at this point, and we have this rental until at least April. We can have it until next September. We could end it early if we need to. But thanks for hanging out with me during this like super rambly, I almost said October budget with me. Can we all talk about the fact, by the way, that it is November? Like it's almost holiday season. It's crazy to me, But anyways, I'll see you in the next one.